The first rain bands from Aaron haven't even hit the Outer Banks, and they're already seeing flooding. I'll show you what to expect over the next 24 hours.
The impact of Aaron. Some people still at the coast plan to ride out the storm. The warnings they've been getting as it moves closer. And postponed by the storm, Aaron forces a couple to postpone their destination wedding. How they're adapting to the unexpected change in plans. Aaron is the big story that we are following today here in WRAL News. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chris Levingood. Let's go ahead and swing over to meteorologist Elizabeth Garter, because right now it's a Cat 2 storm as it stands, Elizabeth, but could that change?
It may. It may bounce back up to Category 3 as it moves past North Carolina, so within the next 24 hours. It looks different this morning than it did yesterday. Yesterday it was dragging some dry air in, and it wasn't very symmetrical. So today it's nice and round, and you can get an idea of just how wide it is. It's a huge storm in terms of the distance that it's covering, and so that's why we're looking at such impacts here in North Carolina. It's moving north-northwest at 13 miles per hour, now about 500 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, with winds at 100 miles per hour, which makes it a Category 2 storm. It remains Category 2 up until around the early morning hours tomorrow. Briefly, it may become Category 3, but of course, it's been 4 and 5 in its history, so we're happy not to see that. The center of circulation still stays way offshore, but already we're seeing some overwash on Highway 12. We're seeing some flooding starting here around Cape Hatteras. That started yesterday. Expect gusts up to 60 miles per hour with a storm surge at 2 to 4 feet. That may not sound like a lot, but of course, the Outer Banks elevation is very low. So flooding is already starting, and of course, we'll end up with some high surf. New this morning, there's less dry air, so the storm looks more symmetrical. It looks rounder, looks more organized, and again, may strengthen just a little bit in the next 24 hours. We're still looking at dangerous surf even as far south as our southern beaches. Flooding happening now along the Outer Banks, and some tropical storm force winds as we do have a tropical storm warning in effect. At the airport this morning, it is cloudy, 71 degrees. This morning will feel a lot like yesterday. We have just a very small chance for rain today. Our temperatures will be in the mid-80s under mostly cloudy skies. It'll start to get breezy around here as the storm moves offshore. I'll show you what our winds will look like coming up.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. We are now less than an hour away from high tide in the Outer Banks. We want to give you a live look from Wrightsville Beach, or actually it looks like this is Myrtle Beach. The risks for Hurricane Aaron will only intensify as the morning progresses. Now, those rising waters are helping carry waves driven by Aaron into neighborhoods across the region. We're talking about Buxton, Hatteras, and Rodanthe, already seeing flooding. WRAL's Eric Miller has that part of the story.
Many Hatteras Island residents who didn't evacuate are waking up to this morning. Water filling streets and driveways. We got a taste of what Hurricane Aaron may bring over the next couple of days. Late Tuesday during high tide. This drone video shot by Jenny Kuntz shows wave after wave crashing into Buxton. Water inundating streets there and slamming into homes and hotels alike. Kuntz, who's been a photographer in the Outer Banks for 17 years, says seeing waves like this so far in advance of a storm has her worried for what Aaron could bring over the next few days.
I'm aware of the risks. I'm aware, that my life is in danger, and if I'm putting myself out there going storm chasing. I also understand that something could happen to my home. We could be cut off from resources. We could maybe not be able to leave the island for a while. I don't have any major health concerns, but if you do have health issues, staying here is a problem.
Like many residents, Kuntz did decide to stay behind. She says she has plenty of food, water, and experience surviving in situations like this. Still, Dare County officials say that Hurricane Aaron is likely to be a life-threatening storm here. We're talking overwash about 4 feet deep over much of the island. As a result, they're warning people to get out while they can before the storm likely washes over Highway 12 and seals off the one-way in or out of this island. In Rodanthe, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
2 local fire departments have already sent teams to help with potential rescues on the coast. 6 members of the Knightdale Fire Department's Swiftwater Rescue Team left for Plymouth yesterday, and that's more than an hour inland from the Outer Banks. They're partnering with the Wake Forest Fire Department Swiftwater Rescue Team. Their members left yesterday, too, and both teams will be prepared to help with rescues where needed. And Hurricane Aaron is forcing people to change their plans. That includes a couple that is headed back home to Massachusetts. That's because the storm forced them to postpone their wedding. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live with their story that you'll see only on WRAL. Kelsey, they're trying to look on the bright side of this.
Yes, Chris, this couple definitely has a good attitude. And this morning, they are making their way back up the East Coast to head back home to Massachusetts. They were planning to tie the knot on Monday in Ocracoke, but when they received an evacuation alert on Sunday night, they were forced to change their plans. So here's a look at the almost married couple. This is Amber Beninati and Lucas Petruno. They planned a small ceremony for just 6 people, the 2 of them and their 4 daughters, in Ocracoke. But they say they were not even able to make it on the island. They turned what was supposed to be their destination wedding into a big family vacation. They visited Nags Head earlier this week, and today they'll be headed to Washington, D.C.
For us, we've been labeling it like perseverance. We're going to get married still. We're going to push through this, and, we're just going to work together, and it's going to make us stronger.
Because at the end of the day, that's what marriage is, right? Rolling with the punches. So the couple says that they do plan to get married in the Outer Banks next year. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
In sickness and health and through hurricanes. Thank you, Kelsey. Today, Governor Josh Stein will hold a briefing to provide updates on the storm, and that's happening at 10:15 this morning. You can watch the governor's news conference live on WRAL News, WRAL News Plus, and anywhere that you stream WRAL. And of course, you can count on us for team coverage of Hurricane Erin as it churns in the Atlantic. Our team of meteorologists is tracking every movement of the storm. We have WRAL's Sean Gallagher, Eric Miller, Heidi Kirk, and Liz McLaughlin at the coast, and they will bring us live reports throughout the day today and tomorrow. Just a reminder, the interactive hurricane tracker on the WRAL weather app allows you to see a storm's past, present, and future, and you can watch that to see where the worst is likely to hit. That way, you can stay safe. Right now, volunteers at the Durham Rescue Mission are getting ready for a back-to-school celebration. What you're seeing here is a live look at their preparations. They'll be serving a barbecue meal in addition to all the fun for kids. Every child will get a free book bag filled with school supplies. It gets started at noon at the Rescue Mission on East Main Street, and that is, again, in Durham. 4 firefighters are recovering this morning from a gas explosion in Wilmington. I mean, you've got to see this. Investigators say a car hit the Eastern Carolina Veterinary Referral Building around 11:30 yesterday morning, and the crash reportedly ruptured a gas line. And then minutes later, the building exploded. 1 firefighter was taken to a hospital burn center, and the other 3 firefighters were released from the hospital. And the driver who hit that building, they're facing charges including DWI. Federal authorities approved tens of millions of dollars in long-delayed Helene aid, and Governor Josh Stein says that millions more are in limbo. WRAL obtained 2 letters that Stein sent to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. He questioned her about FEMA and about this money. North Carolina has waited for hundreds of millions of dollars in funding from FEMA for relief aid in terms of Helene as well. Our state is also waiting for money for projects to help communities be more resilient against storms. Right now, Stein's office says the funds are slowly flowing. The money is only a fraction of what communities across the state have asked for. WRAL's Ashley Rose sat down with the emergency management director about the delays.
How hard is this lack of funding impacting your office's ability to do its job?
We need those funds to be able to continue to support the ongoing activity, but also the recovery of those communities.
And this is actually just a small portion of that interview. You can watch the whole thing with Director Ray on our WRAL YouTube page. All lanes of South Main Street in Wake Forest are back open this morning after work to fix a sinkhole there. The road was reduced to 1 lane last night because of the small hole that formed. This was around 5:30-ish during the rush hour, and the closure caused long backups. Former employees of the nonprofit CJF America, they're suing the company over failure to pay them. And now the company is responding to their claims. WRAL was the first to report this story Monday, and we have investigated CJF America for weeks. In a statement yesterday, the company says it has not been served with the lawsuit. It says it will respond through the courts if and when it's appropriate. WRAL Investigates spoke with more than a dozen people who say they are owed thousands of dollars for work on summer camps. The lawsuit filed Friday has plaintiffs from multiple states. And CJF also said, quote, "We are prepared to defend vigorously against claims that we believe to be inaccurate or misleading." The Wake County School Board approved its new emergency response protocol for schools. The districts will stop using code red, yellow, and green. That will happen during the 2026 school year. And the new protocols are action-based, not color-based. Students will be told to hold, secure, lock down, evacuate, or shelter. They and staff and emergency responders will be trained on what this means. District leaders say these new protocols are clearer than the color codes. Holly Springs Town Council approved a deal giving biotech company Genentech almost $14 million, and the company committed to bringing more than 400 jobs this year. It could invest as much as $700 million into southern Wake County. The plant will help develop new obesity medicines. Genentech plans to break ground on that site next week. Johnson Community College hit a new enrollment record. School leaders say they welcomed more than 6,500 students this semester. That is a 15% increase over the fall of last year and a 61% growth since 2021. There are also more than 2,000 high school students participating in dual enrollment. The DMV is looking for new license examiners to reduce wait times across the state. We're talking about 40 new positions that are in the mini budget Governor Josh Stein signed into law this month. The DMV is recruiting for these positions, and applications are open on the DMV Careers website. The DMV will also host statewide job fairs in the coming weeks. Wake County Schools is mourning the death of teacher Gina DeBose. She died earlier this week after a battle with ovarian cancer. Her daughter, actress Ariana DeBose, posted these photos on Instagram. In her post, Ariana DeBose called her mother her favorite person, biggest fan, toughest critic, and best friend. Gina DeBose was a social studies teacher at Wakefield Middle School, and she was 57 years old. Your time is 4:41 this morning. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is worth $643 million. It is the biggest jackpot so far this year. The lump sum cash prize is more than $290 million, and you can watch the drawing tonight at 11 p.m. right here on WRAL. Staying ready, the first major hurricane of the Atlantic season brings with it a reminder what you need to know to be prepared before the emergency. Plus, alligator Alcatraz. A judge is split over detainees' rights at the Immigration Detention Center, where the case stands in court. Let's go ahead and take you out live right now, giving you a look at Wrightsville Beach. A little dark out there, obviously. It's 4 a.m., but you can see the waves are coming in. Hurricane Erin is causing dangerous rip currents and overwash. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will track the newest alerts that we're seeing on the coast.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
And of course, we're looking at cloudy skies this morning. So once again, we have the tower lit in purple for the gray skies. And it will be gray for much of the day. We'll probably end up with a little bit of sunshine late today, maybe a bit more than we saw yesterday. Temperatures this morning are in the low to mid 70s. Again, at 70 in Roxborough, 71 in Garner, 72 in Rocky Mount. Our rain chances for today and tomorrow are minimal. We are not going to see the rain bands from Erin here. We will have some breezy conditions. We'll talk more about our winds in just a few minutes. But another quiet day for today, a very small chance of a shower. I'm going to walk you through Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes. Our highs this afternoon will be in the upper 80s.
A federal judge in Miami issued a split ruling over detainees' rights at the so-called alligator Alcatraz. That's that Florida Everglades immigration detention facility. Now, the case has not been transferred to a middle district court, but attorneys for the detainees say that there is a lack of attorney access to the facility. They also say there is not enough privacy for attorneys to meet with their clients. The federal government says the detainees can see an immigration judge at a detention center just under an hour away.
The government has caved on the fact that they are now providing bond hearings, and they have designated an immigration court for people who are held at Alligator Alcatraz to be able to seek release from custody. This is a victory for people held at the facility, a victory for civil rights, and a victory for immigrants all over the country.
Now, this was one of two cases in federal court regarding alligator Alcatraz. The second one has to do with the environment and the effect the facility may have on surrounding protected wetlands. A judge ordered a construction pause for the detention center, and she is expected to issue her ruling by tomorrow. Hurricane Erin is bringing life-threatening rip currents and dangerous surf along much of the East Coast, and with it, an important reminder for everyone to stay prepared. Here's Ivan Rodriguez with ways on how you can do that.
The impact of Hurricane Erin is already being felt on U.S. coastlines. Around 90 rip current rescues were conducted in North Carolina Monday. In New Jersey, weather conditions are worsening.
We have a rip current warning, we have rough surf warning, we have storm warning, and conditions are bad.
Although Erin isn't forecast to make landfall, the strength of the storm serves as a reminder to prepare.
We always say when we talk about hurricanes, for example, don't wait until the storm warnings have been issued. It's too late.
Part of being prepared is building a kit of emergency supplies.
The toolkit doesn't need to be complex, but it should have specific things in there.
That includes medicine, critical documents, tools, at least a 3-day supply of food, as well as a hygiene and sanitation kit, according to FEMA. Mark Friedlander says another crucial piece is insurance.
insurance is all about financial protection. So it's not just property insurance for your home, your condo, or your renter's policy if you're an apartment renter, but it's flood coverage.
Flooding isn't often covered in standard home insurance plans, so it's important to check your policy. Other ways to prepare your home before a storm include testing your shutters and securing your outdoor space.
The goal is to create a behavior to be prepared, not a reaction.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
The state opened a shelter for people evacuating because of Hurricane Erin, and the shelter is at the Warren County Parks and Recreation Building on Wilcox Street. That's in Warrington. It can hold up to 400 people, and it is pet friendly. This is a reminder to take any necessities that you, your family, and your pets may need. All right, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is here right now tracking the tropics. We're kind of waiting to see if we'll see an intensification of Hurricane Erin. Cat 2 when the day started, but potentially Cat 3 on the way.
It does look like it may re-intensify slightly as it moves past North Carolina. Right now, it's a lot more organized than it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was drawing some dry air into the storm, and that was making it a little bit lopsided. Most of the activity was on the east side, but more symmetrical at this point. Of course, that means that some of these northern and western rain bands will move a little bit farther inland. Still, we're not expecting to see those rain bands here. Typically, some of the rain bands will cause some tornadoes to form, but it may be that these rain bands hug the coast so much that we just don't see as much of that, certainly not inland. Right now, the center of circulation is 495 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras. It is moving northwest at 13 with 100-mile-per-hour winds, which does make it a Category 2 storm. Possibly, as it moves past North Carolina, it becomes Category 3, but maybe going from 105-mile-an-hour winds to 115-mile-per-hour winds. Probably not going to make a huge difference in the impacts that we see. Already, we're seeing some flooding along the Outer Banks. It began yesterday with this storm well away. The rain bands weren't even there yet yesterday, and already flooding is happening. Expect gusts along the Outer Banks up to 60 miles per hour and storm surge at 2 to 4 feet. And of course, that will inundate multiple of the Outer Banks. Their elevation is just so low. Storm surge warning for 2 to 4 feet of storm surge as well. For us this morning, we're looking at a day like yesterday. Mostly cloudy skies, 71 degrees is our temperature. We stay on the cooler side. We'll be watching for the winds to pick up over the next 24 hours, but right now, wind out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and it's not gusty, but we'll have some peak wind gusts through tomorrow, 15 to 25 in our western counties and 25 to 35 in our eastern counties. That's not really enough to cause a lot of problems. If we were seeing winds over 40 miles per hour, then we might start to see some trees down and some power outages, but we'll probably stay just under that across our area. Here's what's happening. We actually have a front that's up to the north and west. As it approaches us, it starts to wash out. You can see Futurecast showing a lot of cloud cover for us again today, and that front just doesn't make it here. Let's move through till Thursday, because Thursday is the day that we'll see the storm moving just offshore. Notice we don't really see any rain from that at all. Maybe a few showers and thunderstorms from the mountains approach us, but we'll be pretty dry for today, tomorrow, as well as Friday and Saturday. Our next best chance for rain around here is likely not to be until Sunday and Monday.
Your time is 4:51. An award for excellence. A Wicked star is being honored for her contributions to film. How this adds to her long list of honors. Raleigh native and 5-time NBA All-Star John Wall is retiring from the league after 11 seasons. Wall was the #1 overall pick in the 2010 NBA draft, and he played at Garner High School and graduated from Word of God Academy in Raleigh. He played in college for the University of Kentucky, and in a social media post, Wall said that he is stepping off the court, but not away from the game. All right, we got a sneak peek at Colin Farrell's latest film, and a Wicked star gets a prestigious honor. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Colin Farrell presses his luck in his latest film. The actor plays a gambling addict trying to pay back his casino debts in Ballad of a Small Player. Tilda Swinton co-stars in the psychological thriller, which arrives in theaters and on Netflix in October. Cynthia Erivo has a new reason to celebrate. The actress will receive the Santa Barbara Film Festival's Kirk Douglas Award for Excellence in Film. The Oscar-nominated Wicked star already has a Tony, Grammy, and Emmy to her name and will be honored at the annual event in December.
Perfection is not just about control.
Black Swan soars to new heights. The Oscar-winning film will be shown on IMAX screens for the first time in honor of its 15th anniversary. Fans can relive Natalie Portman's ballet moves in theaters nationwide August 21st and 24th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I remember watching that in theaters. Suddenly, I feel old. The New York State Fair opens today, but this year's enormous butter sculpture already made its debut. You can check it out right here. The sculpture is inspired by the 125th anniversary of the wonderful Wizard of Oz. The cow has red hooves as a nod to the famous ruby slippers there. I'm always impressed by people who use this as their medium for making artwork. Ahead at 5 o'clock, Aaron's impact. Some residents decided to stay in their homes. The warning they're getting as the storm intensifies. And postponed by the storm, Aaron forced a couple to move their destination wedding. How they are adjusting to the unexpected change. Plus, picking healthy cereal. It's getting harder to do. 5 on Your Side shares what a recent study exposed about the contents of cereals marketed to kids.